Well, my name is Jill Mentdorf, and I'm here today with one of my favorite authors, Diana Likely. She did a book, Bobby Finds a Forever Home. And so we're just going to ask Diana a few questions. And one of the first very important questions is, why did you even write your book?
Well, I retired a couple of years ago, and last year decided to become an Oasis reading tutor, and I volunteer in the Webster Grove School District, and my first student liked animals very much, and her favorite thing was saving stories, is what she called them. And there weren't that many that I thought were good, and I wanted something that would engage her and something to make her feel special. And so over the Christmas break, I wrote the basic version of the book for her as a gift. And this is what the original version looks like. I put it together on my typewriter or on my computer. I have no graphic or computer skills to speak of. And it was just pages that were stuck in binder pages.
Yeah.
And I tied it together with a string.
Well, whatever works.
She loved it.
Well, it's amazing to see the beginning
difference?
stages, yeah, and then like what it ends up being. And this is really kind of where an illustrator and designer come in.
Exactly.
You know? So how did you find your illustrator?
I had looked at some illustrators locally, and I didn't like their work. Although it was hard for me to articulate, I had an idea in my mind what I saw the book looking like.
Okay.
And I was worried about the cost, and I was worried about the quality of the pictures. And so I thought maybe a win-win situation would be if I could get a college student.
Okay.
So I sent an email to an art professor at Webster University, since it's big on the arts, and asked him if he could recommend somebody. And he hooked me up with a senior who was an animation major.
Okay, so these were all done on the computer then?
They were all done on the computer.
Okay.
And we had a series of meetings. We always met at Starbucks. And after she graduated in May and went back home was when she actually started doing the sketches.
Okay, so did you give her this?
I gave
picture?
her that, yes.
Okay, I thought
and I told her I wanted the cover, the primary picture, to be similar to that. And
she did a good job.
She had some really interesting early sketches, and I didn't know what sketches looked like.
Were they just black and white kind of?
They scared me, yes. They were very, very rough, and in some of them, Bobby's eyes were big and round and bugged out, and in some of them, she had different goofy expressions and looked like she was wearing glasses. And we finally decided, based on like cat anatomy and looking at pictures of what cats look like when they're really happy, that we would have her eyes closed, because when a cat's really happy and relaxed, they close their eyes, and when they do this, it pulls up their cheek muscles, which pulls up their lips, and it makes them look like they're smiling. And so when we hit on that, to have her with her eyes closed instead of open, she didn't look creepy, and she looked happy.
Okay, well, non-creepy illustration is good, for sure. So, okay, so you found a student, and I think I have recommended that in my classes too, because you can get a little bit of a deal, and they like to have the work to put in their portfolios and
exactly.
stuff like that too.
It was a win-win. It helped her with her resume and her portfolio, and I got a good product.
Yeah. So, how long did you work on your book from start to finish? I know you were, writing stories and...
Writing the book only took over Christmas break, but I had been thinking about it for years.
Yeah. Okay. What made you pull the trigger on, okay, I'm going to self-publish?
I shared the book with some friends. I shared it with a couple of reading coordinators in Webster Groves, and a friend who was an editor at the Post-Dispatch at one time, and I kept getting really good feedback. And that was when I decided to go ahead and publish it, but I was totally ignorant.
Yeah.
And in this whole process, it seems as if each step reveals itself as I need to know it.
Mhm. Well, you were always really good about doing research and your due diligence too, though.
Yes.
And especially with marketing, like you understand you have a contact, and you kind of take advantage of that, and you follow up with them. So, in regards to marketing, all the things that you've done, what have you like enjoyed the most, or what do you think has really kind of helped you, just to get the word out there about your book?
I can't tell you yet, since it's
Mhm.
so early in the process, what's been successful.
Yeah.
But one thing that's really been helpful is to put my personal feelings aside
Mhm.
and realize that nothing about this is personal to other people.
Yeah.
For instance, I was trying to get some pre-reviews that I could include on the back page, and the vast majority of people just ignored what I
Yeah.
sent them. I got a nice review from Bill McClellan,
Oh,
who's
okay.
so admired and loved here in St. Louis, and I included that on the back cover of the book, but everybody else just ignored it.
Yeah. Well, you're right. You have to put your personal feelings aside because, well, that's a big reason why people don't want to self-publish is because they're afraid to put it out there and get any of that negative feedback. And,
Well, now that I have the investment
Mhm.
in the book, I want to sell it and at least try to get my investment back.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are a number of things that I am trying, and it's like every day I wake up with a new idea.
Yeah.
One idea I had just a week ago was that I've worked closely with Habitat for Humanity in New
Mhm.
Orleans, and whenever there's a house dedication, they give symbolic gifts to the owners. They give them a loaf of bread and a bottle of wine. Most of these people have little kids,
Yeah.
and the kids don't really get a gift. And I thought the idea of a forever home would
Mhm.
resonate with these kids that are going into their forever homes.
Yeah. That's nice.
And so I have a contact down there. Well, they're really busy with the flood relief right now,
Mhm.
but I sent down a copy of the book, and I said, if you would like to buy some copies of these to give to kids at house dedications, I'll give you a good price. So
Okay.
that's one idea.
Well, then that's a good example of thinking outside the box too. I mean, yes, it's about a cat, animals, and then also just going to different shelters and things like that too is a good market. Mhm.
I gave a copy to my cat's vet,
Okay.
and gave a lobby copy to the animal hospital and left some business cards.
Mhm.
And there were actually a couple of people sitting in the lobby with cats in carriers waiting to see the vets,
Yeah.
and I gave them business cards.
Yeah.
And so there is one brick and mortar store
Mhm.
in Webster Groves that's carrying
Okay.
the book, and then of course there's your site and
Mhm.
then Amazon, but I would prefer that people buy from you because
Yeah.
you're
Amazon likes to take a
extremely
hefty
reasonable
commission.
in your commissions.
Yeah. Well, last question. We don't want to keep you long, but so with self-publishing, is there something that you would have done differently?
No.
No. Okay.
As I said before, everything has revealed itself in an amazing order as I was ready to know it, because
Mhm.
I knew nothing about self-publishing. I had joined an online critics group.
Okay.
Uh,
An online critics group.
it's called Critique Circle,
Okay.
and people submit their work to be reviewed and critiqued. It's a free thing. To earn credits to get your work looked at, you have to critique
Okay. Yeah.
3 things yourself, and then your work goes out, and
That's a good point because a lot of authors will go out there and they do expect a lot in return because, again, the personal thing, it's very personal to them, so they feel like, well, you should really want to read this, you should really want to look at this. But you do have to do things for other people before really a lot comes back. Even in reading blogs, commenting on blogs and stuff like that, and then maybe incorporate yourself that way and then mention your book.
Exactly.
But yeah, so.
So okay. I was very, very unsure what my next real step was until I read about your class. And everything has just fallen into place. I don't know what kind of response you get from your students, but as soon as I went to that first class and learned some of the things I was going to have to do that I had never considered, like marketing, like copyrights, like ISBN numbers, I thought, I have a lot to learn, and I wanted a publisher that was local that I could sit down with and talk to. And
I just got another call this morning from somebody that was in my class, and this is not an advertisement for my class. But okay, well, Diana, if you want to share your blog information, the book is available on Mira online bookstore and on Amazon. And your blog, what is your blog website again?
My website is www.catbobby.com. Cool. And that has blogs that are geared for adults. And
I read the last Kitty.
Wasn't
really
that
cute.
silly?
It was cute.
Some are fun and some are serious, but they're geared for adults, and they have all the information about upcoming events and how to contact us, where to buy the book. Okay. And there's some reviews at the end of it.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Diana.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you.